Hey friends, welcome back to the Special Kind of Motherhood podcast. We are officially in the holiday season, and it's really that time of year where you want your home, or at least I do, to feel warm and cozy, but it can be such a challenge because a lot of times those things that give us that warm, cozy feeling, the nice smells, all of that, they come with a lot of chemicals, which are harmful for us. So how can we still have that warm, cozy feeling in our home while also avoiding harmful chemicals and things like that? I want to share with you some tips that I have found over the years in still creating that atmosphere in my home that I really love. I love the smell of spice and cinnamon and all of those things. So how can we do that without having to burn candles, use fragrance, air fresheners, all of those things? So let's go ahead and get started.
Hi friend, do you dream of having a garden but you don't know where to start? Do you want to switch to more natural products but feel overwhelmed by all the options? Do you believe that a holistic lifestyle would help your special needs kiddo but you're daunted by all the information out there? Welcome to the Special Kind of Motherhood podcast, where you will learn how to work towards your dream for homesteading, gardening, and holistic living in small, simple steps that won't overwhelm you.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a wife, Jesus follower, and mom to some amazing kids. As some of my kids began experiencing health struggles and developmental delays, I decided it was time to switch to a holistic lifestyle. I quickly became stressed out and burnt out, feeling like I needed to change everything at once. I finally realized that I had to start making one small change at a time, then build from there. I learned to walk this holistic journey in a way that works for me and my family, without stress or overwhelm or constantly feeling like I wasn't doing enough. If you're ready to hear from another mama who understands what it's like to have no time and who can help you make changes towards better health for your family in a way that works for your specific life, then this is the podcast for you. Pop in your earbuds, reheat your coffee for the third time, and let's do this. All right, friends. So for many of you, honestly, you may be wondering, why shouldn't I burn candles, or why shouldn't I use some kind of room spray or air freshener or whatever it is that you use that you find to be really beneficial in giving you that feeling that you want in your home. There's nothing I love more than like the light of a candle with the wonderful warm scent that it gives off and curling up with a good book and a warm blanket. It's amazing. But how can we do that and still feel good about what we're using in our homes? That's what I want to talk about. But the main reason, there are a lot of reasons, but I'm really going to focus on one today. And the main reason why I avoid these products is actually because they are all made with fragrances. And fragrances can be extremely harmful. One study actually showed that air fresheners and laundry products actually emitted dozens of toxic chemicals. It was nearly 100 volatile organic compounds, or they're also called VOCs. And they were actually emitted, and none of these things were listed on the product label. So the problem with when you see something that says fragrance oil or natural fragrance or anything like that is you have no idea what is actually in there. And the reason why is because there's actually a loophole with the FDA, and basically people can list something as a fragrance or a natural fragrance, and they don't have to share what is in that. And the reason why is because it's considered a trade secret. So when you see the word fragrance or natural fragrance, just think unidentified chemicals. You have no idea what you're actually burning and emitting into the air in your home, or what you're spraying and everyone is breathing in, your kids, your animals, yourself, all of those things. You don't know what it is, and they are not required by law to tell you what it is. So for me, it's not worth that for us. I would rather just find alternative solutions, and I have found good alternative solutions that work well for us, that I'm not having to worry about what is it that we're actually breathing in. The other issue is that a lot of studies have actually linked these different chemicals to things like hormone disruption, cancer, and reproductive issues. Again, I would rather find different options to still give that warm, cozy feeling without having to introduce these chemicals into our home. It's just not worth it when there are so many other methods that you can use to get the same kind of feeling. So with that being said, let's just share some things that I have found to be very, very helpful. Like I said, it's winter time. I love to have like a warm blanket. I want that nice smell in the house. I love the ambiance from a candlelight, all of that. So what can I do? Well, here are a few options. You could actually just burn beeswax candles. This could be something you don't even have to have any kind of fragrance or essential oil. And we'll talk a little bit more about essential oils later. But Burning those can just give a nice scent into the home. Another thing that I love is a simmer pot. So this is honestly, I keep this on the stove year round, and I have it going not every day, but it's pretty close to every day. And so I will just, if we use lemons or I peel an orange for one of my children, I actually take those peels and I will just throw them in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. And whenever I'm ready for them for a simmer pot, I will pull them out, throw them in a pot. I will add, something like whole cloves, cinnamon sticks. I might add like a splash of vanilla extract. I actually really like to vary the extracts that I use in this because it gives a different kind of scent in the house. So some that I commonly use would be things like orange, lemon, almond. I love the smell of almond, so I love to put some almond extract in there. Vanilla extract. I've even used like coffee extract before. I love to just put a splash of that extract in there as well. You could also do cranberries. You could add fresh herbs in there if you wanted to. There's just a lot of different ways you can really customize it, but you just add all of those things in there. You put it, the pot up with water, and then you bring it to a boil and you turn it back down and you just let it simmer. And as the water boils off, you just add more water and you just keep that going all day. And honestly, what I have found is if I feel like the smell is getting like it's kind of diminishing, I just add another splash, like a couple more cloves, another splash of extract, and it just freshens it back up and it's good to go for the rest of the day. So that's been a huge one for me. And what I love about this is that I'm not wasting products. So for instance, the lemon and orange peels, I'm able to use those for another purpose. I could obviously give them to my chickens, and I do that as well sometimes. But for the most part, I just throw them in a bag and I just have them ready to go whenever I want to put a simmer pot on. You could also actually, if you didn't want to mess with any of that, if you just got a bag of mulling spices, that would be a great option to do as well in a simmer pot. It's going to give you that nice fall or winter warm spiced smell. So mulling spices would be a lot less complicated way to do this basically. I just like the complexity that all these different scents add together. And I've really found good combinations where honestly, if you walked in my house, you would think a fall scented candle was burning, but it's not. It's just the simmer pot on my stove. So I'm a very big fan of that. Another option that you could do if you want to freshen up like different fabric surfaces and things like that is you could make some kind of spray. You could actually make a room spray as well. I will link a recipe down in the show notes below. If you want to check something like that out, that would be a great option. Another option that you could do is actually get one of the wax warmers, but instead of getting the traditional wax that has fragrance in it, you can just use the wax warmer. And then what I like to do is take like some coconut oil or a little, not really, I don't use avocado oil because it's more expensive. I typically honestly use coconut oil. So I would take like maybe a teaspoon or so of coconut oil. And then some people will recommend you use essential oils, but I do not do that because some essential oils really are not made to be heated. They can be harmful when you heat them up. So I tend to lean towards not using essential oils. And I actually, again, will use extracts. So lemon, orange, almond, cherry. I mean, there are so many different scents you can get for an extract. So I would just put like a teaspoon of coconut oil and then a splash of some kind of extract in that wax warmer. And I would let it just warm up. And I love to use this for like bedrooms. So I actually have one in my bathroom and it's attached to my bedroom and it scents up both my bedroom and my bathroom. And so, or like in our guest bathroom, things like that. That's just what I prefer to do with that. But all that really requires, again, you could use those extracts for 2 different methods. And then you need some coconut oil. And you don't have to you're not consuming it, so it doesn't have to be anything extremely expensive. You don't necessarily have to get organic, cold pressed, anything like that. It can just be your traditional coconut oil that you get from the store and just stick it in there, warm it up. Another thing that I recommend, and this can be harder in the winter time, but it's still doable, is actually to open your windows. Let fresh air in. It airs out your home. It's actually good for the air quality in your home that you are breathing in, especially if you have concerns about mold or anything like that. Getting your windows open for at least 15 minutes every day can make such a difference in the smell in your home. and also just the air quality in your home. So if it's really cold, yeah, maybe you do want to wait till like the middle of the day when it's the warmest and you only open them for 15 minutes and then you shut them quickly. You obviously have to figure out what works best for you, but being able to do that, I think, is extremely beneficial in improving the smell and the air quality in your home. And then as far as the option of really liking the ambiance that a candle gives you, I honestly just use things like we've had in the past, an electric fireplace that I will plug in and, I'll have the light that can just glow even without the heat on. Or I love to actually use battery operated candles. You can find some really pretty ones. I have some that look like they're birch trees. They're very pretty. They give off just that nice warm feeling. They actually have timers on them, so they come on for a few hours at the same time every night. So I don't even have to think about it. It just automatically comes on and kind of gives that warm feeling that we just really love this time of year. So those are just some options of different ways that you can still have that cozy feeling without having to interact and introduce, really, chemicals into your home. I would love to hear from you. What are some ways that you have found to do the same thing? I would love to hear some new ideas. I'm always open to trying new things. So come join us over in our free Facebook community. You can find us at bit.ly/motherhood community. I can't wait to see you over there, and I will see you guys back here on the podcast next week. Hey Mama, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share this with a friend who is wanting to live more holistically without the overwhelm? Also, don't forget to head over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. It blesses and encourages me to know that this show is helping you. All right, friends, it's time for me to go work in the garden and make some homemade bone broth. I will see you back next week.